Yo, what's flopping, butter dog? One sec. Samuel, what's flopping, man? Okay, hold on a second. Oh, wow. Apparently there's now, wow, there's actual police, whatchamacallit, depositions or whatever, police interviews about Frazzle Drip. That's crazy, man. There's going to be a lot of people are going to hell, put it that way, man, if you know anything about Frazzle Drip. Okay, hold on a second. What is this title? Shit. Does the title not show up? No, it is. That's weird that it doesn't show me the title on this side. At least it's live. Okay. Yeah, Prince Red, good question, man. Very good question. European, I'm just shouting out the live on Instagram real quick. Commission, stay home, save fuel now, mandatory. It's a big one, dude. Prince Red, this might be the big kicker, man. This might be the big one before 2030, to be honest. But fear not, of course. Fear not, indeed. Okay, we're live on Instagram real quick, and then we'll be talking to all you guys. Shout out to Embryo Homestead. She's laughing right now because it's Embry. Yeah, exactly, dude. And I even have the articles like this is mainstream coming out. So at first it was we might have to do a temporary thing, and now it's about to be a shitstorm, dude. Canada BC Union calls for full-time work from home due to spiking gas prices. Like, dude, we're about 2 weeks or a week away, it seems, from this becoming all of a sudden. Because if you remember COVID, remember correctly, COVID, it was, oh, some shit's happening in China, but like, we don't really know. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, global pandemic, lockdown. Right now, we might have to stay from home. We might have to work from home. Let's save some gas. South Korea, the cars on the road are being tracked with the whatchamacallit. Yeah, I read a headline, Cozy's me. Yes, I read a headline that's not reading scripts. But anyway, South Korea, they're using the license plate reading cameras to determine if people are allowed to be on the roads or not. Okay, so this is becoming a full-blown shitstorm. And also, that's why a lot of people were pissed off about the cameras going up all throughout the US and the Western world, which were to stop, license plates that were not quite supposed to be on the road because they're like criminals or whatever. But now is seemingly, as Serial said, this is the second attempt in the reset, yes, and it could get a little bit hairy quite soon. And also, they also want to, because of the fertilizer shortages, this could get really weird with the food supply. Yes, exactly, Raphael. He said pandemic 2.0, yes, or scamdemic. So this would be a scam energy crisis, a schmenergy crisis is what they're going to call it. It's engineered, of course. So listen, guys, there's a lot more I want to tell you about this whole situation and where they're going to try to take this and what we should be aware of that's coming around the corner. But we're not going to be discussing it in full detail on Instagram for obvious reasons. I had many strikes in the past for literally streaming about the most vanilla stuff you can imagine. on Instagram. So we are live right now on Rumble, which is free to watch, free to download, and free speech. It's at the link in my bio. If you want to tune in, click the link in my bio. Come on over to Rumble ASAP. We already got 50 people on, and we're discussing the shocking angle of this new agenda of what they're pushing right now, man. And I'm talking about, isn't this what Klaus Schwab said? We're going to have, if you think COVID was bad, imagine he didn't say energy crisis, though. He said a cyber attack, a comprehensive cyber attack. But then we also have like Iranian media posting AI videos of Iranian hackers like shutting down the grid. So some shit's coming around the corner, but we got to keep our head on a swivel. June, we'll talk about what we should do now on my Rumble live stream channel. Come on over. It's at the link in my bio. All right. I hope to see all you guys on Rumble. Again, you can download it, or sorry, you don't even need to download it to watch it. You can watch it from your browser. But yeah, blackouts are probably next. That's right, Lone Wolf. But it's a better viewing experience, and you can comment if you make an account and you get the app, and it takes like 2 seconds. Okay. So hope to see you guys on there. All right. Exactly. Me too, Nikki. She said she's excited for Christ's return. Yeah. Well, dude, I just found out that farmers are finding boxes of ticks like airdropped onto their properties. So where's that coming from? You know that they're already airdropping ingestible vaccines for wild animals, right? Like all throughout rural areas, they're dropping like little crackers or something that have a vaccine in them for like the raccoons to eat and the different animals, and deer eat it and stuff. So clearly there is it's just getting a bit too evil to be able to cover all the bases. And honestly, if you were not rooted and grounded, you would probably feel pretty demoralized finding like, oh, they're spraying us with chemtrails, they're GMOing the food, they're spraying vaccines, or they're dropping vaccines for animals to eat. Like, it's a bit of a shitstorm, man, with what they're throwing at us right now, which is why you have to be really grounded and know that good things are coming around the corner, despite it getting seemingly a little bit more shocking by the day. I thought the files being released would be the tip of the iceberg, but then as soon as those got released, we had the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz being closed. So was that a distraction from a distraction, or is this the main show right now that they're just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us, man? It's freaking wild. Shout out to Prince Red. He said, hey, Shane, I was thinking when we weren't awake, did we have people around us telling us about this stuff at all, and we were just blind to it? Yes, probably. I mean, we certainly saw movies that we didn't recognize the conditioning and whatnot from. You know what I mean? Like, we definitely watched a million movies and had no idea we're absorbing all of the subliminal programming and stuff. But I don't know that I ever had anyone tell me, like, yo, the government's spraying chemtrails, and me been like, no, that's not the case. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know, Katie. We're not even halfway. I know. Lone Wolf said we need to remove all power from government. Yeah, dude. He said this is about depopulation. It is. And also, it's interesting because I kind of thought they were just going to slow play the depopulation thing with like chemicals in the food and water. But if the fertilizer crisis gets much worse, apparently the fertilizer that goes through the Strait of Hormuz is what's supposed to set up food for about 4 billion people. So that's a little bit of a concerning thought. So food prices are set to skyrocket. I know it's strange, man. It is strange, but I can tell you this. This is them trying to bring things down. But if you remember, during Schmovid-19, we can say COVID on here, of course, because we're not on Instagram. They tried really hard to do this, that, and the other, but they were able to they ended up making a bajillion people become awake and aware to these shocking agendas. You know what I mean? So it's like Star Wars. The tighter the Empire has their grip on the rebellion, the more slips through their fingers, or whatever Princess Leia said. Do you remember that? Or was that Padme? No, that was Princess Leia. I will say, wow, that's crazy, Ish. Ish just said, Be careful with in-home air filters. They could be sprayed with the new virus. Have a reusable air filter. Dude, that's a freaking weird synchronicity because I just saw a video of the Air Doctor, and then Butter apparently has an Air Doctor. I've not talked about air filters for a long time. And so we just talked about air filters about 10 minutes ago. And now you're talking about air filters. Be careful. They could be sprayed with the new virus. That is a shocking thought, man. Well, it's like, you want to get a blood transfusion these days? Like, I don't really think so. You don't even know what's in that shit. They did lie about the population of the earth. That's right, Samuel. There's likely way less people. Well, there can't be, mathematically, there cannot be 1.3, 1.4 billion Chinese. It's just not possible because there was 500 million of them in the 1960s, and then they had the one-child policy for like 40 years. So to have China's population almost triple in 70 some odd years, you'd have to have the average Chinese woman have 5 children, which is nowhere near the birth rates of the country. So Matthew said, I read that by the end of next year, 5 billion people will be, that would be crazy, dude. That would be really crazy. But you know what? Fear not. I don't know that that's going to happen. That would be quite excessive. I think they would lose a lot of power that way. And I don't see why they would. Maybe they're trying to pull out all the stops before Christ returns, man. Maybe that's like, maybe they have a whole bunch of goals that they know they're not going to hit, but they put them out there so that people are like fear-mongered thinking, oh shit, this is what they're going to do next. You know what I mean? Lone Wolf said he's in the UK and he can feel it's about to explode here. It's terrifying. I want to claim asylum in the US. Dude, that's probably not a bad idea. Claim like going to the US in general, but I don't know that the US isn't about to have a bit of a scenario as well. Like, it's every country. There's not really a stone they want to leave unturned here. They do want to disrupt a lot of what's going on everywhere. You know, I don't think they're going to leave one unturned. So now, before we get into the shocking news that's out of Indonesia and the United Kingdom and Airgas, which is a U.S. industrial gas supplier, which is getting really strange, I did want to mention, clearly, with the amount of chemtrails they've been spraying and the bajillion cell towers that they've put up all over the place, that it is imperative to be of sound mind and sound body today with the amount of strangeness that's happening, and that they want us in a lowered state of consciousness. So on this live, for the next 3 or 4 people, we're going to be giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, which massively stimulates stem cell production. It's super detoxing and it's delicious. Plus, it has organic Ceylon cinnamon in here and organic vanilla bean powder, organic coconut milk powder. It's absolutely like you could eat it by the spoon dry, and it binds to free radicals and excretes them out of the body. So it's super detoxifying and delicious. That's the chocolate powder. The way to get the free lit, I'm going to put the link in the chat that goes to Choq.com. And Choq is based in the United States. They ship out of Texas. They have an all-American customer service team. Sorry, they're based in Texas. They ship out of Georgia. They have an all-American customer service team, and they have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. So that's Choq.com. I just put the link in the chat. If you go to Choq.com, it's first come, first serve. You'll see the #1 supplement for men and women at Choq.com is the Hot Water Purified Shilajit, which is a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster. It massively increases the production of new brain cells. It's called neurogenesis. And it also contains C60, carbon 60, which has anti-aging effects on the body. Plus, for guys, it boosts total testosterone 21% in 90 days. And for women, it calibrates your endocrine system and is extremely pro-fertile. So that's the Purified Shilajit. So the Shilajit is in the male and female vitality stacks at Choq.com. If you go and put a male or female stack in your cart, and you apply the discount code 26life, you get a 26% off lifetime discount, which you can cancel or modify at any time. And automatically, you're going to get the free $100 bag of lit included in your order. That's for the first 3 or 4 people. We already have a bunch of people on the site right now, so just make sure you apply that discount code to the subscription. It only works on the subscription, not the one-time order. And in the male and female stack is the organic ashwagandha, which is clinically studied. It has well, for one, it's 14 times as potent as conventional ashwagandha, which is usually farmed in China. Ours is certified organic. We have 43 clinical studies on it. It massively increases melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. Plus, it's pro-fertile and it's a hormone optimizer. It's considered the king of herbs in India. That's in the male and female stack. If you start taking the male and female stack, it is a complete game changer because we're talking about a whole bunch of superfoods that were secretly studied by the Russian military, for example, for 40 years. That's the shilajit. The ashwagandha has a ton of evidence on its benefits to your DNA, to your hormones, to your mental clarity, and healthy mood and focus. So most of us, at least myself, like I don't know about you guys, but I never took shilajit, ashwagandha, and Tongkat Ali, for example, at the same time. But anything you take with the shilajit is a potentiator. So it increases the potential of any other herb or superfood that's taken with it. Katie made a good point. She said, we need to start getting tests to test our air and water ourselves and take it to our city as a local community. Well, Katie, you know what's crazy? So you can test, so you can go to a water depot and they'll test it and they'll be like, yeah, there's fluoride, there's chlorine, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with air. Like if you want to test chemtrails, you might find barium and aluminum, which is alone shocking. But it's also that within the other ingredients in the trails are what's called, you've heard about it surely, smart dust and nanobots and weird like alien technology, they call it, because it's seemingly there's nothing else like it that we know in the public anyway. So it's just advanced military technology, I guess. But that type of shit does not show up on the you need like an electron microscope, like the one that zooms in its ass off, like it can zoom in a bajillion times. That's how you can see this super weird nano stuff that's being sprayed. But still, there's enough to, yeah, if you test the water and it's like, yeah, here's birth control, here's, trace contraceptives, even pet pharmaceuticals end up in the water supply. And somehow people are going and thinking that they're going to like save the climate for us or whatever, when we can't even figure out how to make the water supply clean. Did you see, Katie, Mark Carney just said that that they're going to lock up 30% of Canada to be protected. They're going to protect 30% of the land in Canada by 2030, which to me sounds like all the crown land that we've been able to go and hunt on and four-wheel on and camp on and harvest wood on is going to be considered like private, not for public use. And they're going to say that is to save the climate and to save the environment. When meanwhile, we all know we're being sprayed with the trails a million times above our heads every single day. But people are drinking too much fluoride, I guess, to figure that out and wrap their heads around it. It is a little bit of a shocking thought. I can see why people are, you can get flustered about it, man, for sure. But I will say that, again, fear not. The good guys win in the end. You have to stay positive. Otherwise, they've already won. And, it's a part of the process. Like, struggles make us all stronger. Humanity as a whole, if it struggles with this Illuminati agenda, we're going to be stronger than we've ever freaking been able to wrap our heads around when we get through this thing. So I think it's a part of a divine plan, man. As evil as it is, if there's not a particle in the universe that's out of place, Yeah, that too, Katie. I didn't even think about that. I kind of thought that. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that's what I heard. There's pet pharmaceuticals in the water supply. Well, Katie, yeah, if everyone does, like in Nova Scotia, when they said it's a $50,000 fine if you go into the woods because there's a fire ban. If everyone walked into the woods, there's nothing they can freaking do. So we need to, I guess, put aside our differences and get that going, man, 100%. I'm about to shout the live out on Instagram again. If you guys are on the site, because apparently there's still a bunch of people on the site right now, anyone who's looking at the male vitality stack, that's the one that contains the Tongkat 100, which boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days. Plus, it increases sperm count and sperm motility, and it increases muscle mass, muscle endurance, and muscle recovery. If you get the male or female stack at chalk.com and you apply that discount code properly, 26life on the subscription, 26% off for life, and you get the free $100 bag of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia included in your order automatically. When I shout out this live on Instagram, there's going to be a bunch more people on here. We will end up giving away the last 3 bags of Lit. So if you're on the fence, quickly get that order placed with that discount code, and boom, bang, bang, you get the freebie. Exactly, it's Crown Land, Katie. And also, Katie, it's interesting because in the U.S., like last year, I think it was, there was a big talk about privatizing public land. and making it private to like preserve it. But then a million people were posting about how messed up this is, privatizing public land. And the what ended up happening was they like scrapped the bill or something. I'm sure they still want to do that. Like, dude, I have a picture from 2016, David Dees, who was a Sesame Street illustrator who turned into a truther. And he's made memes that you've all seen. Like he was one of the, if you type in DDEES, Dees, David Dees, he'd make these crazy images. I friggin' have, well, anyways, I think I have some screenshots of it. But anyways, there's images talking about in 2016, 2015 of like an AI robot stop. So it's a graphic he put together, and it's a robot holding a citizen at gunpoint who has a barcode on his hand. And behind the robot is like it's big valley, trees, forests, mountains, and everything. And it says, human access denied for the next 7,000 miles. And it has Agenda 21 or whatever it says on it. So yeah, they plan to get rid of our access to land, man. So in Canada, it would be crown land, and in the States, it'd be public land. One sec, I gotta shut my window. And I had to grab my water. Hold on a sec. I did, Butterdog. Don't worry, I did. Pipe it down, Blue. Okay, I'm going to shout this out on Instagram real quick. Hold on a second. Okay, one sec. Oh, keep in mind, too, by the way, the vast majority of the shillelagh, I'm going to tell you guys this before I shout this out, because I don't want the last 3 bags of lid to go to the new people who come versus the people who are already on the site right now. The vast majority of Shilajit Shilajit on the market is the tar resin, which contains 20 to 30% water. It's significantly diluted, usually is full of heavy metals, and also is very low in bioactive compounds. Whereas the Shilajit that chalk has, that's in the male and female vitality stack, has the full matrix of minerals. It's heavy metal tested. The water is evaporated, making it a concentrate after it's hot water purified. And then it undergoes clinical trials. So when I'm telling you that it's going to boost testosterone for men, calibrate your endocrine system for women, boost fertility, stimulate the production of new brain cells, then that's because that's based on the clinical studies of consistent consumption of the compounds that are in the Shilajit. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the Shilajit on the site. You're getting the full matrix of minerals and all these benefits that are clinically studied. Okay. I gave him the magic word he knows. I got a bunch of copper wire too. So yeah, copper, dude, it's a great thing to have. You could do the whatchamacallit, hugelculture. Hugelculture is one. Electroculture. Do the electroculture, man. Because that one is freaking wild. You jam copper rods and wires into the ground and coil it up on a stick and then jam it into the ground next to your garden, and it makes more stuff grow. Pretty freaking cool, to be honest. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me double check this. Oh, congratulations to who just got the female stack at chalk.com. Someone just got the female vitality stack, which is the Shilajit, the ashwagandha, and the Irish moss. Congratulations. The Irish moss, by the way, full matrix of minerals, wild crafted from Nova Scotia. Whoever just got the female stack, comment below so I can hype you up on what you just got. And of course, you're getting the free $100 bags of the chocolate powder. $100 bag rather of chocolate included in your order for free. You're not going to see it on your order form, but it's going to be physically placed into your box when it's passed up. Shout out to Danny Angel 888 with the angel number. Freaking awesome. Let me just type this title on here real quick. The trestle. The trestle or trussel, Katie, isn't it? Is the trestle that I'm thinking of the bridge that's an old train bridge? Because there's one in Kelowna too, but you're on the island. Yeah, I know. It would be a shitload of people would have to be really controlled to not go and make use of the beautiful land and whatnot of British Columbia in the summer. But then Nova Scotia is beautiful too, and they told everyone it's a $50,000 fine, and there's like 3 dudes who walked out into the woods without. And also, neighbors, like, you weren't allowed to have people over and go into your woods, even if it's private property. I think I forget what exactly the legalities around it were, but that was the tip of what a climate lockdown would look like. First way you said it. So it's actually called a, well, just let me just double check. Trussel. Oh, it is actually trussel. Yeah, I wonder what that is. I thought it'd be a trestle bridge. Yo, shout out to Butterdog who just or rather Butterdog who's watching. Yes, shout out to Butter. Dude, somebody just got a stack and a shilajit. Congratulations to who just got the either male or female stack and the purified shilajit. So it looks like they want to double up on the shilajit. That's freaking awesome. And they are getting the free lit powder. So that means we actually literally have 2 bags left to give away. Congratulations to the second person on the live who just got a stack and a shilajit. You're going to freaking love it. You're going to be shilajit maxing with me on the lives, and you're going to be able to have organic heirloom cacao with me too, which is a little bit early. I should have it lit right now, actually, though. But you'll be able to synergize consciousnesses on the live with me in the future in 2 to 5 business days when you get your free lit powder. So congratulations to who just got the stack and the shilajit on the live. Let's freaking go. Do you think that's HasBR? HasBR, are you the one who just got the stack and the shilajit? Let me know. The river here has a ton of gold in it too. It used to be a part of the mines. Katie, if I were you, I'd be panning for gold right now. It's worth a lot, eh? You get a friggin' there's some places in like South, or not South America, but Indonesia where there's a freaking river with nuggets. Like, you could pan all day and make a couple $100 worth of gold little powder pieces, but be dope to get a real nugget, you know, make like, yeah, that'd be fun. And keep it, obviously. Sell it for cash. No, then you just turn your cash that's devalued every day with inflation. Hang on to the freaking gold. Shave a piece off of it every once in a while if you need to go buy something. But shout out to Haza or HasBR who got the stack and the shilajit. Congratulations, Haz, guys. Haz is the one who just ordered. And apparently there's still a bunch of people on the site. So this is the last call for you guys because I'm about to shut out the live on Instagram and we're going to get a bunch more people on. Haz, let me know if you got the male or female stack and I will hype you up personally and specifically. Okay, let me quickly shut out this live here. Hold on. Fertilizer, hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. People aren't around. Yeah, I wonder if they I wonder if, hold on a second. If they do a climate lockdown and you're not supposed to go into the woods, surely they can't stop you from being on the water. So you could just float around the water around the land and probably be all right. Eh? Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Butterdog, man. What's going on, everyone? So sorry to like fluster you a little bit here, but I'm just wondering what exactly is supposed to happen. Because listen, since the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, the fertilizer that's supposed to feed 4 billion people, which is synthetic, I'm not a fan of it, but that's how the food system is set up right now. That fertilizer is not going through the Strait of Hormuz. And that fertilizer is supposed to go to feed 4 billion people, according to the official numbers, if you believe the official population numbers in the world. So at the very least, stuff might go and get a little bit expensive. Dude, 762 said, go organic, problem solved. But listen, 762, listen to how, like, I'm Mr. Organic over here. I'm totally with you. But think of how if everyone all of a sudden went organic, first thing, a lot of organic still uses synthetic fertilizers, which it shouldn't. Keep in mind, a lot of organic is allowed to be sprayed with Apeel, which is Bill Gates's Apeel, the chemical coating that's a shitstorm that you're allowed to spray it on organic produce. But think of, like, you can't overnight everyone go buy organic and the food supply be fixed. Like, there's not enough. Secondly, he's totally right. Do regenerative gardening. Of course, the guy's got a freaking garden in his profile picture. But the thing is, currently, yes, of course, the GMO monocrops and the gigantic fields of one crop is the worst thing for the food supply and the environment and whatnot. However, that's what's feeding everyone right now. So without it being a slow segue towards growing all organically, no-till farming, and all that, it's a bit of a shitstorm around the corner. You see what I'm saying? Josh, you know what I'm saying. And also, there's other problems with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, but we're going to get to that. Copper coils, yes, we should do the electroculture as well. But guys, listen, there's something strange coming around the corner right now, not just with the food supply, but also with the energy lockdowns and climate lockdowns that they're already starting and talking about in the European Union and in Korea, South Korea. It's very strange, dude. They're telling people they can't go on the roads, like they're like locking down vehicles, and they're using the license plate reading cameras to police it too. So listen, we're doing a live stream on this right now on Rumble, which is free to download, free to watch, and free speech, because there's a lot of stuff I can't say on here. I'll put on my tinfoil hat tomorrow, 88. I got to fix it. It got all ripped up. My tinfoil pyramid hat, we should specify, because it's not just a tinfoil hat. So if you guys want to tune in to the Rumble live stream, click the link in my bio, come on over, and you can download the app. That's obviously the best viewing experience, and then you can quickly make a comment or make an account so you can comment. But you can watch it from a browser also, but it's not as, you got to get the app. It's a lot better. Okay, that's true. 420 Kale said the rules only work on people who follow them. Well, that's just this. When they say something's mandatory means nothing if you say no. Mandatory doesn't exist if you say no. So mandatory is fake. Mandatory is not real. So I hope to see you guys on Rumble. Click the link in my bio or go comment the word Rumble on any one of my posts and you'll get the link sent directly to your DMs. All right, we'll see you guys on Rumble. People are like, damn, like, how come he doesn't do the live streams on Instagram anymore? Well, dude, because Instagram, the fuck were we even talking about that one day? They gimped us, man, on Instagram. They shut me down for 30 days. Then I got back able to go live again. And then they shut me down for another 30 days. But it was someone was mass reporting the live saying like that we were promoting like violence or something. We were literally talking about fluoride. But the fact that they can get away with doing that is very strange for sure. Katie said the stores are looking barren when you went out yesterday. And a bunch of labels are gone. Things saying they're sold out even though there was items on the shelf. That's very strange, Katie. I know that in, like, it depends where you're at. You might get stuff from Chile. You might get stuff from South Africa. You might get food from South America. But to have BC already seemingly affected by a food shortage, I don't know if we're there just yet, because the food that was grown with synthetic fertilizers is still being like harvested and supplied right now. It's the next crop rotation to where there could be a reduction in availability of many products, which makes me think, damn, it would have been dope if 10 years. Oh, well, first thing, it would have been great, but everything's meant to be, so I'm not really too flustered about it. But like, it would have been cool if our parents, you know, instead of being whatever they, I mean, like, did you guys learn how to be farmers from your parents? Because I can tell you that their parents' parents were farmers. Basically, all of our parents' parents, all of our grandparents farmed and grew stuff and lived off the land and knew how to can and preserve and survive. Without AI, without fucking internet, they knew how to do that. All of a sudden, our generation is, how do you change a tire? How do you change your oil? Like, You know what I mean? So they kind of got us right where they want us in some ways, but it would have been nice to know how to be a farmer basically by the time I was 4 years old. Like that would have been freaking great. But I'm not gonna, if my parents were listening to this, I'm not roasting you guys. You didn't know it yourself. Your parents didn't teach you, so how would you have taught us, right? So, but very strange, man. Very, very strange. So the other problem is now that I don't know if you guys saw, but the water that gets sprayed or misted onto produce in the shelves of grocery stores, you know that what did your grandpa do, Katie? You know that they that's not water that they're spraying on the food, like on the shelf of all those vegetables and stuff. It's a product called oh, what's that called again? It's an antibiotic, and it's actually a registered pesticide because the antibiotics kill the bacteria, which counts as like a pest or a living organism. Produce Max. It's called Produce Max, and it's that's what's being sprayed on the shit at the grocery store. So again, this is why you got to know your farmer big time, man, and support your local freaking farmers because the ones who don't use synthetic fertilizer are still going to be able to grow food. Like I have a friend, organic farmer, no-till farmer. They use mycelium to inoculate the seeds, and then there's mycelium in the soil, which increases the nutrient absorption and everything. Super cool. And he's not using synthetic fertilizer. But if there's diesel shortages, I mean, he has a tractor, not to plow, but to move manure around, you know. And but I'm just thinking, like, to get to and from the market, if there's gas shortages or diesel shortages, then that could be a difficult thing. You know what I mean? So Katie's grandpa farmed all his life and taught us a lot. That's freaking awesome. Katie in BC, and Kevin's grandparents had a cold cellar where they stored goods. Yeah, I mean, we very quickly though went from like 90 some odd percent of people are farmers and grew something and raised something to all of a sudden being utterly dependent on grocery stores. Now, I will say what's interesting too though is like in Grenada, because it's like lower, they don't have too much money there. Of course, everyone was growing something in their yards. You're in the freaking tropics. You chuck a seed out your window, something's going to grow. But it would be seen as kind of like wasteful and strange to have a yard and not grow any food in it. And that's how it 100% was in North America up until like 50 years ago. Now people have big lawns, big backyards, but don't grow anything and don't even know how to grow. You know? Oh, Manitoba. So he was in the freaking Great Plains, Katie. So he had a great farm, I'm sure. That's freaking awesome, Katie. Manitoba, eh? I've drove through a few times. That's where I got bit by my first tick, actually. We pulled over. We were driving across the entire nation. And I drove overnight a bit because it was like we were like in, I don't know, some city. I'll look on the map which one we were near. But I guess Winnipeg. We're coming out of Winnipeg. And we pulled over to nap because it was like 5, 6 in the morning. Farmer's field, sun was coming out, beautiful birds chirping. But then like 2 hours later, I wake up and I can feel creepy crawlies crawling up my leg and arm. And I look, and sure enough, I'm getting bit. Where was I getting bit? On the arm, I think, or the leg. But I had like 5 on me, but one was biting me. I'm like, oh, fuck. And there's like a whole bunch climbing on the blanket from the field, too. They must have smelled us or detected our vibration or something. Ticks, eh? So I got bit by a tick, but I didn't get Lyme disease, so that's great. But apparently bee stings cure Lyme disease, so I'd be already cured anyway because I get stung every summer like 100 times from my beehive. So it's all about aesthetics. Well, you know about aesthetics, eh, Katie? But they don't even understand the core of what aesthetics is, which is being healthy. Yeah, that's right, eh? That's right. No kidding. I didn't know aesthetics. Yeah, I guess aesthetics, of course, is being healthy. You're not going to be aesthetically. Well, the word has a few uses. Like if you're talking about a house on the inside of a room that looks aesthetically pleasing, like it looks nice, which would be probably feng shui, but not everything that looks nice is feng shui. Anyway, I digress. Guys, so listen, just so you know, before we get into the next World War III situation that's coming around the corner and the global lockdown that they're going to try to probably impose on us, I did want to mention we are giving away 2 more bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia on the live. This is the chalk lit powder, which massively boosts stem cell production, which goes and repairs damaged tissue and damaged cells. Plus, it contains a ton of bioactive compounds, which are believed not only to decalcify the pineal gland, but also massively increase blood flow, mental clarity, and it stimulates bliss chemicals, which is tryptophan, dopamine, and serotonin. So we're giving away 2 more bags of the delicious detoxing heirloom organic chalk lit powder. And the way the deal works, it is first come, first serve. So make sure you quickly click this link I just put in the chat, which goes to choq.com, CHOQ.com. So Chalk is based in Texas. They ship out of Georgia. They have an all-American customer service team, and they have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. I think those are the better kind of lights, Alexandre. If I'm correctly mistaken, let me just see. Right now, my screen is at 26400K, 26. So look, I can turn it right down. That's 1900K, my screen's right now. And this is 6500K. So 3000K is here. Yeah, that's better, man, for sure. I'm talking about my computer screen. Kelvin, is that what it is? So Choq.com, the number one, to get the free lit powder, this is how the deal works. The number one supplement at Choq.com for men and women is the hot water purified Shilajit, which has the full matrix of minerals. It massively boosts new brain cell production. It's called neurogenesis. It also increases sperm count and sperm motility for men. It increases fertility for women. And it also incredibly is believed to decalcify the pineal gland. So that's the hot water purified Shilajit. Now, the Shilajit is in the male and female stack at Choq.com, in addition to the ashwagandha, which is in the male and female stack. And that one massively boosts melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. It's a hormone optimizer. It's pro-fertile. It has 46 clinical studies. It increases healthy mood and focus, and it's considered the king of herbs in India. So if you're taking the ashwagandha, you will feel like $1 million. It's in the male and female vitality stack. So this is how you get your free lit. Put the male or female stack in your cart on the subscription. Apply the discount code 26life, and you get a 26% off lifetime discount, which you can cancel or modify your subscription at any time. And if you place your order and you're one of the next 2 people, you're going to get that $100 bag of chocolate included in your order for free. That's right, Katie. Especially jaw lines, like you can do different. I know calisthenics is cool. Only body weight lifting stuff, like no weights, but like body weight and upside down. Like there's some people who are jacked who are doing that, man. It definitely is like a hack, and maybe more better for your joints and stuff too. Alexandre, if the light for your room is 3000, that's a lot better than if it was full blue light. But why don't you get the incandescent bulbs? Because if it's LED, even this computer screen, if I turn it down to full red mode and it's like super red, that's better, but it's still artificial light. Whereas incandescent bulbs are some of the best. I mean, think about artificial lights, no matter what hue they're at, they aren't ideal for your hormones and your retina, your eyeballs, which your eyeballs play a huge role in the ability to regulate your hormones because of the light that's supposed to go in them. We are light beings, right? And so this is why it's important too to think about this, how much we're exposed to the artificial lights. People don't even realize, like a frog in boiling water, their hormones may be all gimped and upside down. And just from artificial lights, we're not even talking about the pesticides, which is why it's good to definitely be calibrating your endocrine system, like with the Shilajit, the ashwagandha, even the Irish moss, which is in the female stack, or the Tongkat 100, which is in the male stack. All those are hormone optimizers, plus brain function, detox, pineal gland, which is supposed to regulate your hormones too, your pineal gland. Braces corrects your jaw, your bite, the muscle formation. You see more improvement than just straight teeth. Something with your back and posture, you start using your muscles properly. That's right, Katie, that's right. One time I gimped my back. I thought something's just got a crack in it. But then I was looking it up and I'm like, no. If I do I did a certain exercise for literally like 3 minutes. So I was like on my knees, like lift my hand up, like a bit of yoga almost action. And I guess it realigned some muscle that had like slipped or kind of gimped off of where it's supposed to be. So yes, it's amazing the way muscles work. And I think this is another thing that we knew a lot more in ancient times, just as we knew more about superfoods and adaptogens and plant things that are good for us. We also used to know, like, if you got a pain here, you like hold this pressure point for 12 seconds and then do a jumping jack. Like, there is hacks like that with the body, you know. Embry's Homestead said, we switched all our LEDs out for full spectrum incandescence and all my headaches went away. Wow, Embry. It's a shocking thing, you know. People are completely overlook the importance of what kind of light is lighting up their house. And it's a part, by the way, of the silent weapons for quiet wars agenda. The artificial lights is 100% a part of a plan against humanity. Katie, did you have braces? Because the crazy thing is, when you have the street lights, which are beaming in people's windows, again, disrupting hormones, also disrupts nocturnal pollinators. Yes, you can find them in Canada, Alexandre. Just go on Facebook Marketplace, type in incandescent bulbs. People are getting rid of them left, right, and center, dude. I got like 10 boxes in my shed because people were getting rid of them for pennies on the dollar. But then also, what's interesting is that the artificial lights, they have a technology in them that they're supposed to be transmitting data and information to other artificial lights, which are then also talking to the smart meters. Like, there's transmitters in the street lights, which talk to other things. And they're like smart LED lights, 5G smart LED street lights. So again, another part of the silent weapons for quiet wars thing, which is why we need to be of sound mind and sound body today and calibrate our systems, man, and detox the crazy stuff out of us and freaking get our vitality back. Because, like, you know, when we have stories like yesterday, Matthew, I think if Matthew's still on, or maybe it wasn't Matthew, one of the guys, I think his name started with an M. Anyway, he said him and his wife have been trying for 10 years to have children, trying everything, fertility clinics, you name it. And they got on I shit you not, other people were listening yesterday, so they saw this come in real time. But both him and his wife started taking the male and female vitality stack and are now pregnant, and she's due in June. And he came on, and I have not even seen him on the lives. Like, he's not a regular on the lives, but he got chalk. He took it consistently, pro-fertile, and freaking has a little one in the oven, man. Due in June, which is just impeccable. So it's a lovely thing. Now, you may be thinking, if you already had kids, you don't need to be fertile, but fertility is a barometer of health. So anything that's pro-fertile, like you could say, like, organic apples are pro-fertile. Like, they're a healthy thing. They're good for you, but you're not going to not eat an organic apple because it boosts fertility. Of course not. It's a barometer of health. So anything like the shilajit, the ashwagandha, the Irish moss, these are natural hormone optimizers and fertility boosters. They also increase your brain function massively as well. So we have 2 bags of lit powder left to give away. If you're on the site right now, quickly apply the discount code 26life to the male or female vitality stack. You're going to get that 26% off lifetime discount. And then you're going to get the free $100 bag of chocolate powder if you're one of the next 2 people to get the male or female stack. Katie said she had braces twice because the muscles in your mouth are strong and want to bring your teeth back to the old spot. Really, eh? I might even go for a 3rd time because the retainer only holds it back so much from moving. Katie, I heard that, yeah, they are, Isaiah. Big time, man. I heard that your dental development, your teeth and mouth development, of course, starts in the womb. So it also has to do with what mom's eating and drinking and whatnot. They're finding now can have an effect on kids' future mouths. But then there's also something which I barely understand anything of, but you guys might have heard of it. Myofunctional therapy. You can get this stuff. It's like a type of brace you put in. It's not braces though, for like a very young, like probably 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And they can put it in their mouth to make sure there's ample room for their other teeth, which will save them from needing braces when they're older, if their teeth if there's not quite enough space in their mouth for all their teeth. So very interesting. And again, that's what they're doing in the natural realm of things now, as opposed to being like braces, you know, there's glues, like it might be a little bit toxic, but I'm sure it's fine. Like, I mean, there's worse things going on. You know what I mean? Like there's talk about, well, if you have magnetic metals in your mouth and the frequencies like interact with it. Like you can't go through an MRI. I don't even know. I don't know if you think you can go through one of those body scanners at the airport either, can you? Damn, hold on a second. So some guy named Dale Partridge said he's been blocked by an entire nation. May the Lord Jesus crush the paganism of India and call them to repentance. So he got a reply, receipt of correspondence. In the interest of transparency, we are writing to inform you that X, or Twitter, has received a blocking order from the Indian Ministry of Information and Broadcasting regarding your Twitter account. So this guy's whole Twitter account is blocked from, I guess, Indian internet. That is quite the achievement, man, if you want to call it such. You had to get teeth taken out. Which teeth do you get taken out? Your incisors? Incisioners? What are they called again? Let me know. Hold on a second here. What's the brace face cage thing? Don't you mean just braces, or was it like a separate thing that I'm wondering about? Okay, hold on. Let me quickly. Okay, so I'm about to shut out the live. If you are on the site right now, get your order placed ASAP with that code 26life because I'm about to shut out the live. We're gonna have like another 100 people on here, so this is gonna be freaking wild. Boom, bang, bang. So I'm gonna hold slots for you guys. I'm gonna do the good old fashioned mention to you, by the way. Well, it doesn't help that people don't know. I mean, nutrients growing up, if you're having sodas and all kinds of chips and shit, like our parents got the first generation of super processed foods. So after that, if we go 3 generations of processed foods, that's how you get the rats that were studied under the French scientists who found that the 3rd generation of rats fed GMO corn were infertile. So we're the 2nd generation, or we're the 1st generation on full-blown GMOs. Our kids would be infertile if it's anything like the rat study. But of course, they buried that rat study and said that it was fake. So you got to watch out. Hi, guys. I'm mentioning literally all of you right now because we have a shocking situation that's popping off right now in the Middle East. And that's about to affect, apparently, Europe with the shortage of diesel. Australia also is talking about diesel shortages, which is going to affect the growing season. And they're upside down over there because in the 1970s, they produced 70% of their own oil, but they're about to go into lockdown mode over oil shortages, which is freaking shocking, man. So Varun Kumar, I'm mentioning you right now, dude. That's how you got mentioned. But guys, listen, they do not want you knowing this information. They do not want you knowing what's around the corner. They do not want you knowing there's going to be these lockdowns. They're going to frame it as if they don't know that there's other forms of energy. This is how you know this is completely fake. It is fake because they have patents and technologies which could replace oil consumption and usage in its entirety. They have been black shelving patents for like 80 years. When an inventor comes out and makes a free energy magnetic device that makes energy, which they say is fake, but they also made a security act that deems anything that can disrupt the official story about how energy is created is considered a national security threat. So they black shelved the patents. You'll never see them again. What do you think happened to Stanley Meyer? This is a global plan, dude. This is a plan against all of humans. The new wars of the 21st century are not fought between countries. They're fought between citizens. It's a situation between citizens and governments. Russia, you think Russia is cool, right? Because they banned GMOs. I thought so too. But they have the most facial recognition cameras in that part of the world in Moscow. They also basically already have digital ID. Iran, good guys, bad guys? Well, they have their parliament building has 33 windows. It's shaped like a pyramid, and they have Freemasonic symbolism all throughout it. They're installing puppets in all these countries around the world, waging war between them, fomenting it, and then pretending and framing it like we got to go in there and stop these bad things from happening. Stanley Meyer is the guy who made the water-powered fuel cell. So listen, I got to be careful with how much I say on here, but we're streaming on Rumble right now, which is free to download, free to watch, and free speech. I get it if you like just the quick 60-second dopamine hits from watching Instagram Reels, but if you want a deep dive on it, we're streaming on Rumble right now. We got 60 people on. It's at the link in my bio, free to download, free to watch, and free speech. If you make an account, you can comment, and then it's a lot more fun because you can join the conversation, but you can just watch from your browser without the app. I hope to see literally all of you guys on Rumble because this is getting extremely strange and apparently it's the tip of the iceberg. Okay. Alternatively, you can go and comment the word Rumble on any one of my posts and you'll get the link sent directly to your DMs of the live stream link. Do not comment Rumble on the live though. It doesn't do it. It only does it if you comment Rumble on a post. But alternatively, you can just go to the link in my bio. Okay. I hope to see you guys on Rumble. Svenska, it's at the link in my bio. Much love, everyone. Keep your head on a swivel, all right? That good old mentioned you trick works every time, man. All you do is say the word, you type in, you title your Instagram live, mentioned you. Then people think you mentioned them. But then when they go on there and they say, you mentioned me, I say, yes, I just mentioned you just now. I'm mentioning you now. Okay, hold on a second. Let me send this over here. But I mean, really, if that's what I got to do to help, to get someone out of like a dopamine, like for example, if you're scrolling reels, you're on Instagram, you're in a doom scroll. There's the feed never ends. You could scroll forever, right? Every once in a while, if a crazy live title hits you and you come over to Rumble, then there we go. We got you to stop scrolling. You know what I mean? Yeah, send me a picture, Katie. Hasda said, or Has BR said, Shane, what time of day do you recommend taking the male stack in Shilajit, morning or before bed? I would say what a herbalist would tell you, the best time is early in the morning likely with your light breakfast, whatever you consume first thing in the morning, take all your sups. That's the best time from my understanding. Sometimes I take Shilajit before bed. Sometimes I definitely take the chocolate powder, not right before bed, but I'm talking like it's nighttime, time for a hot cup of cocoa. I do that. But otherwise, most people would say get it into you. The one thing, though, is that the clinically studied benefits of what you just got are based on consistent consumption over 90 days, not consistent consumption at a certain time of day. So as long as you're getting it into you consistently, you'll experience the full range of clinically studied benefits. You know what I mean? Yeah, Katie, send me that one. Shout out to Katie, man. What was I going to say? Yeah, so dude, everyone who's joining right now, we were mid-sentence on the live, but I realized I might have actually said too much on that live. This whole energy crisis is completely engineered. They've shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They know the effects it's going to have on the global economy and energy supply. But what it's prone to do, what it's set up to do, is cause these energy shocks and then institute restrictions and travel restrictions and measures that further control the populace. Now, if you were a complete normie, you'd be thinking, oh, this is too bad. Like there's lockdowns, but it's just because that darn war and it's because we got to stop Iran, but Iran's not opening the Strait of Hormuz. But if you realize that the same parasites controlling Iran, other countries in the Middle East, Russia, China, North Korea, and they're all in on it together to create this new world order, you would picture things very differently. You'd realize this is actually quite a nefarious plot. But I realize that the average person, it's like nearly unfathomable. Like you're telling me Russia, which we think, isn't that kind of our enemy, is actually controlled by the same hidden hand that's controlling our countries here. It's a network, a global cult that is controlling all countries. The last country that I can think of, you can think of one yourself, but the last country I can think of that actually went against the grain and didn't want to be a part of the world banking system was Libya. And you see what they did to Libya. Now, Iran is not another Libya. This is not Iran tried to be free from the world order. Even though they're posting videos, this is part of the PSYOP. They're posting videos being like, we don't have Epstein Island over here. You guys are being controlled by Satanists, blah, blah, blah. And I think they're making like woke Arabs, like people who are awake, who are perhaps from the Middle East or have relations over there. They're thinking like, oh, Iran is like fighting against the world order of like the Zionists or something. And then this is why like Iran's getting bombed. Their puppet dictator or their puppet guy was installed. Both were. And the new one as well. And it's to foment this conflict and then bring about this new system. But here's the thing. This is their second attempt at a global shocking reset. And the last time they did this global reset with COVID, they witnessed a significant amount of mass non-compliance. And they also know that a lot of people got more wise since then. And so if they know a thing or two, which they obviously are, they are clever, they're evil, but they're clever.
here's the crazy part. A bajillion more people will be awake after this lockdown or whatever they're going to try to do with this energy crisis, because that's the nature of what's going to happen. Because no matter what, there's going to be the ridiculous policies and restrictions that don't make any sense that people are going to get pissed off about, and it's going to wake them up massively. So it's unavoidable. It's going to happen. And sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. That's right, Matthew. In New York City, they tabled a thing about turning the lights off at 6 p.m. till or at 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. non-essential lights. So I saw that one. That was for the Dark Skies Preserve thing, but I think that's also going to be, if there's an energy crisis stateside, they would definitely talk about stuff like that. Now, here's the crazy part. While all this is going on, it kind of pisses me off because I would love to be discussing like the fact that our food supply is being spread. Like right now, we're talking about how there could be food shortages, but I'm trying to talk about the fact that they're still trying to patent and control the DNA of our food. Like that's what they're at right now. They're making CRISPR technology, it's called. It's like GMOs on steroids, where they can insert genes and take genes out. They're spraying, they're dropping vaccines in the wild, edible vaccines for wild animals all throughout North America. Have you heard about that? Type in edible vaccines for animals. It's not even a secret. They're dropping edible vaccines from helicopters and planes into the remote regions of the environment to get wild animals to eat it so that they're protected. That's what the fuck is going on. Like, this is an evil plan against humanity. They're trying to taint the natural world and put it in an altered state, man, because they need us in an altered state. If we are to be, if they want to reach their end goals, we got to be discombobulated. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we were fully dialed and calibrated and our pineal glands were decalcified and our brains were working super well, we could not be manipulated and, controlled this hard. This is part of the plan, which is why it's more important than ever before to be of sound mind and sound body. So with that, sound mind, sound body, and pineal gland function, which most people's pineal glands may still be calcified, strangely, we need to decalcify it. We have 2 more bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chalk lit powder, left to give away on tonight's live. The way the deal works is, so this is certified organic, certified heirloom cacao from Bolivia. It's one of the most powerful detoxifying agents in the natural world. It's got organic vanilla bean powder in here, organic Ceylon cinnamon powder, and organic coconut milk powder in it. So it's also delicious. It's not just detoxing. Plus, it's studied to stimulate the production of stem cells, which goes and repairs damaged tissue and damaged cells. We have 2 more bags left of the lit to give away, and this is the way the deal works. It is first come, first serve. It's first come, first serve. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. As soon as I put this link in there, make sure you click it so you get bumped first in line. The number 1 superfood at chalk.com, which, by the way, Chalk is based in Texas. They ship out of Georgia. They have an all-American customer service team, and they have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. The number 1 superfood at chalk.com, which has B just ordered, by the way, guys. If you see the guy's name, Hazzbr, he just got a male stack, which has the Shilajit in it, and he got a Shilajit. The way the deal works is this. Shilajit is the number 1 superfood at chalk.com for men and women. It's a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster. It stimulates the production of new brain cells. It's called neurogenesis. It calibrates your endocrine system. For guys, it boosts testosterone. And for women, it calibrates your hormones. Plus, it's extremely pro-fertile and believed to decalcify the pineal gland. It also has 12 or 13 clinical studies on it, which includes its ability to detox heavy metals. So we're talking about the importance of getting these crazy metals out of your system, including, not barium, of course barium too, but chromium, which is a highly tunable atom, and it's in like all pharmaceuticals. They may be spraying us with it as well, and it's to be able to use the towers to modify our frequencies, basically. Now, the second superfood at chalk.com, one of the most popular that's in the male and female stack, is the certified organic ashwagandha, which has 46 clinical studies. Most ashwagandha is farmed in China, so you got to watch out. Ours is certified organic. 43 clinical studies. It's extremely pro-fertile. It's considered the king of herbs in India. It massively increases melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. And it's extremely pro-fertile. I would say between this and the Shilajit is probably the reason why that guy in here who was trying for trying to have children for 10 years, he said, him and his wife, he commented the other day, they went on the male and female stack, him and his wife, I think it was for 90 days. And sure enough, now she's pregnant and the baby's due in June. This is a real life, real person story that commented on the live 2 days ago, which I'm still kind of thinking about how amazing that is. So that's the Shilajit and the ashwagandha. To get the free lit powder, this is the way the deal works. Go to chalk.com. You'll see the male vitality stack and the female vitality stack. If you're on the site and you put the male or female stack subscription in your cart and you apply the discount code 26life, you get a lifetime 26% off discount, which you can cancel or modify at any time. And automatically, if you place it on the live and you're one of the next 2 people, you're getting a free $100 bag of the chocolate powder included in your order automatically. We're talking about, we could be discussing, Michelle Obama, Frazzle drip, all these crazy things. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting the metals out of you, if you're not boosting your vitality and your brain cell production and your hormones and your frequency, then what do we really, like, what use is it knowing every inside and out of all these conspiracies, but being in an altered state of consciousness because of one of the conspiracies, which is to taint the food, air, and water supply? You know what I mean? Like, it's a pretty freaking big deal. If they're putting this much effort, attention, time, and money into poisoning us, it goes without saying it's likely quite important to be of sound mind, sound body, detox, strong vibration, etc. You know what I mean? And that's exactly right. Katie's talking about we are electrical beings. And here's the funny thing. Electrical beings, yes, and apparently what ignites every biological process in the body is minerals, right? Our minerals. So the full matrix of minerals, we're supposed to be getting 102 minerals every single day, which ignite every biological process, and every single vitamin requires a mineral to activate it. But even if you're eating 100% organically today, you're getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals, which is why it's pretty important to be getting the male or female vitality stack, because you're getting the full matrix of minerals that way. And that's all fact checkable, by the way. You can look up what's the mineral composition in today's food supply, even fully organically. It is very strange. It's not where it should be in the slightest. Well, here's the thing, Katie. Yeah, that too. No, Bill Boss, you're not wrong, dude. Yes, part of what they can do by spraying certain, it's not every chemtrail has this in it, but definitely there is patents for this, to spray something in the sky to give them the right canvas to then beam frequencies at it and paint a picture. My understanding is that's how they would do a Project Bluebeam, 100%. Now, we need metals to conduce electricity, but I'm not for the excess. Well, exactly, Katie. Exactly. That too. And like, for example, there's elements in their heavy metal form and in their mineral form. So like aluminum in its heavy metal form is obviously toxic, but aluminum is one of the 102 minerals that makes up the human body. So look it up. Dr. Sabi, fucking 102 minerals that make up the human body. It's the full spectrum of minerals builds us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The dust is minerals. If you've ever seen an urn or ashes of cremated deer family member, you notice that's freaking minerals, dude. Like 90% of it anyway is minerals. There might be something else in it, but I think minerals is all that's left over after that. The carbon's all burnt off. So you can imagine if you're getting bioavailable minerals, your DNA is going to work a lot better too, because minerals build your DNA. Rosie said, what do you eat? Raw meat? I don't really eat too much raw meat. I might have a rarer steak, but apparently raw meat, like, people swear by it, man. Maybe we should be having more raw meat, to be honest. I know you can get like fact checked and in trouble for saying that raw chicken is healthy, but I also know Augenis Vonderplants, if you look up that guy's name, they wanted to pipe him down rather, because he was spilling the beans about how it's like, if you have a fish tank and the fish are sick, you can vaccinate the fish, or you can change the water, replace it with healthy water. Same thing with the human body. If you got a good, strong microbiome, there's stuff you can eat that the average person would get sick, but you wouldn't get sick if you got a calibrated gut microbiome, which again is also one of the main benefits of the chocolate powder, is that it massively increases your gut microbiome. So that's what we're giving away free tonight. We have 2 bags left to give away. This is basically the last call on the deal, guys. We're probably going to be capping it at some point. We have 2 bags left of the lit. If you're on the site right now, make sure you apply that discount code 26life on the male or female stack to get the free lit included in your order if you place it during the live. Matthew says they're going to fake the prophecy, and then when God does come, they're going to shit themselves for faking it because they won't be able to stop God once he comes. I think Satan knows he loses in the end, man, 100%. Matthew says he's in the middle of reading the book of Jubilees in the Ethiopian Bible. Really, eh? Fuck, I guess I should get it. What's it called again? The Ethiopian Bible, that's it. And translated to English, of course. Look what Balbushka said. He said, Irish moss is like sea moss. I heard sea moss has 97% of our needed minerals. Not 100% sure. Well, dude, Irish moss is basically, it's the same thing. Sea moss, Irish moss. The problem is the vast majority of Irish moss that's sold on the internet is farmed in the Caribbean, and it's full of microplastics. That claim, though, is correct. I hear it's like 100% of your mineral needs you're going to get from Irish moss if it's wildcrafted and not next to a bunch of islands that don't treat their gray water like most Irish moss. But yes, the chalk Irish moss, wildcrafted from Nova Scotia, full matrix of minerals. Yes, it gives your body all the minerals you need 100%. Now, hold on a second. Boom, bang, bing. Oh, yeah. No, Katie's right. Look what she said. How else are they going to hook us up to their AI? Well, the metals surely. Well, and hey, you know, Katie and Isaiah, you know, part of the reason why that this whole, like the whole gender stuff that's going on today, apparently it's to condition to get people excited and ready for and more normalized to the idea of transhumanism, artificial intelligence, robots, because robots don't have a gender. So is this part of the reason why they're spraying atrazine, which reverses the gender of frogs? Does that affect the gender of people who consume the food that's sprayed with this stuff, and then somehow get them like to be down with robots and chill with it because robots don't have a gender? I'm probably explaining that like maybe not most optimally, but there is something to that robots don't have a gender, man. And that's who they want to govern us, you know, eventually. And it's so transparent and obvious reading the headlines. When some of these headlines are literally saying, listen, the headlines are, in 2018, the World Economic Forum said, what if AI could make better decisions than presidents and prime ministers and politicians? And then just last week, the World Economic Forum posted and said, could AI be like the savior to humanity or something like that? Like they're going to frame it. They're already planning on having AI do the controlling. And it's freaking weird, dude. Could you imagine trying to explain this to like your grandparents? Like in the future, they're going to try to make a robot that's non-physical, that's not real, that's not biological, pull the strings and control and dictate what happens in this realm, on this earth, man. It's freaking wild. I would have thought the evil future nefariousness would be like armies coming to get you, blah, 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 blah. But it's literally like you just get shut out of society if you don't comply with the AI thing, or your money gets cut off if you don't. It's freaking strange, man. Good question, Babushka. All of the mushrooms you just mentioned and more are in the Chalk 7 Wonders. So the Chalk 7 Wonders has chaga, lion's mane, turkey tail, cordyceps, oyster, reishi, and maitake mushrooms in it. Super good for healthy inflammation support, I should say. Massively boosts your immune function and detoxification because the chaga alone is the highest antioxidant content in the natural world. Chaga contains like the ORAC value. Blueberries are high. Some other stuff is high. But chaga is apparently the highest. Super detoxing, believed to decalcify your pineal gland. But yeah, that's hilarious. He just named basically lion's mane, turkey tail, cordyceps, reishi. Yeah, maitake, oyster, and chaga, and one more. If I say it in the wrong order, like I can say all the mushrooms in the 7 Wonders, but if I say it in a different order, that's when I forget one. Yeah, chaga, cordyceps, turkey tail, lion's mane, maitake, oyster, and reishi. Reishi is a cool one too. You know that reishi was considered like reserved for royalty in ancient China. They wouldn't like they wouldn't let the populace really know about reishi. They didn't want them taking it because they thought it would make them too hard to control. The most important people in the world will be the ones that can gaslight AI. Yeah, exactly, Katie. Androgynous refers to a person's style or appearance that blends masculine and feminine characteristics or appears neutral, not clearly falling into either traditional gender category. Okay, yes. Yes, that's right, Katie. For some reason, I haven't heard androgynous in a long time. I know other words that sound similar, but androgynous, eh? So that's basically there's other words that could describe that as well. But yeah, that's what a robot is, man. But then the robot that came out on the red carpet there in front of the White House was it said it introduced itself as a she, man. It's a freaking robot with a girl voice too. Like, dude, it is so obvious what's going on. I can't even believe that it's because of the fluoride though. Because we've all been exposed to that stuff for so long. It's very, very strange, man. Yeah, Babushka, Chalk prides itself. Oh, not pride. Pride is a sin. Chalk does the most optimal, best job on making sure that the stuff they get is like on another wavelength, on another level. So specifically, the chaga that's in the Seven Wonders, the way they extract it, it maintains a ton of the bioactive compounds. Whereas if you buy other mushroom supplements, the way they extract the bioactive compounds, it denatures their bioavailability. And that's the same thing with the minerals that are in the the chalk Irish moss, the chalk shilajit, and just the straight up chalk minerals. The way they extract it can either denature or maintain the bioactive compound. So that's specifically what the Tongkat is actually most known for that. The Tongkat Ali, which is in the male stack, which boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days. That one has a patented extraction process which maintains like the vast majority of the bioactive compounds, whereas most Tongkat, when it's farmed in China, the way they extract it like destroys a ton of the benefits, so you don't even get shit from it. And that's why a lot of people get whatchamacallit, Tongkat or ashwagandha from Amazon. They feel nothing and don't know why. And it's because it's not quite they didn't quite get the proper situation, Okay, hold on a sec. Boom, bang, bing. Yes, okay. And then Will says transfer consciousness into an AI bot. Exactly. Well, I don't know when they would try to do that, man. Are they really going to try to pull that off within 4 years? I think that's a bit soon. But I mean, if AI becomes, you know what they call it, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and it's seemingly becoming more generally intelligent, and then it can like self-replicate itself to become smarter, faster. This is why we got to shut down all those data centers, man. The coolest thing about AI is that you can just eventually unplug its ass. You know what I mean? They've already put most of us in chains of convenience. The sheep shall trade their freedom for a Big Mac and an iPhone. Yeah, boss. I mean, dude, tell me about it. I'd rather be chopping wood and splitting firewood and getting a freaking fire going and smoking venison over a fire and boiling maple syrup. I mean, but it also, this is the thing with cities, right? Like when I went to camp growing up, summer camp action, it's like I grew up in a very rural area, and it was pretty evident going to camp when all the kids there were from the city that I'm like, dude, you're built different if you're a product of your environment. If you grow up in a city, it's a very different, you have a very different makeup than if you grew up in the country. And you know that in the 1960s, they it's called the Rural Purge, where a whole bunch of super successful country shows that were, country, like Leave It to Beaver or the Swiss Family Robinson or the Beverly Hillbillies, all these country living movies and shows rather were all canceled despite being wildly successful. And no network cancels a show that's successful. Like, that's a ridiculous thing to do. They did it because they wanted to stop romanticizing or get people stoked for the thought of living outside of a city. And then shows like Seinfeld took the center stage. You know what I mean? So that was a very shocking part of the agenda as well. And yeah, it's very, very, very strange, man. Devil's Tower, Rosie said, what do you think about Devil's Tower? I'll tell you quickly, Rosie. Devil's Tower, there's about probably maybe 50 or 60 or more other ancient giant trees from around the world. There was ancient giant trees. The earth is flat. It's less than 6,000 years old. Space is fake and planets are fake and God is real. That's actually the bottom of the rabbit hole, pretty much. When you figure that out, everything else they say is completely fake. Katie said, have to pay for clean air. We already pay for water. Yeah, and the water's not even clean, Katie. Exactly. Yeah, it's very strange. Babushka is paying attention to his skyline. He says he noticed some areas are always sprayed. Whole sky is constantly gray. Yeah, that's the most annoying. I was saying the other day, when it's fall or spring, because you're just waiting in the spring. You're finally getting your nice. In the spring, you're finally getting your sunlight that you didn't get all winter, and they start spraying, and that's really annoying because you're trying to get a nice sunny day on you. And then in the fall, you're trying to extend the remaining sun you have before winter, and when they spray and it's the last few weeks of warmth, you're like, damn, man, that's so freaking annoying. Rosie, take what he says with a grain of salt. He also basically said I'm in the Illuminati because in one of my videos, I did a funny hand, I literally did this in one of my videos. I was like talking, and I used my hands to talk, and I quickly did this, which is the OK symbol, but it's also a mudra. It's an ancient Indian mudra. It's like hand yoga, and it also happens to be what the Illuminati does. So he basically said I'm in the Illuminati because I did this, and so I wonder what the Sam Dam he is really thinking. But anyways, that could be. But I think that he would say I think this, Rosie. I'm pretty sure if everyone said that that Devil's Tower was a dragon's horn, if everyone was saying that Devil's Tower was a dragon's horn, I think that the fittest flat earther would say that Devil's Tower was an ancient tree. But because everyone's saying Devil's Tower is an ancient tree, he's saying it's actually a dragon's horn. You know what I mean? Like, he's a contrarian, but also, anyways, I'm not the only one he basically said was in the Illuminati, by the way. He's pretty much claimed every cool influencer who is awake and a truther who doesn't work with him or some shit is also in the Illuminati. So he thinks way too many people are paid agents when really just not everyone agrees with him. I mean, he literally blocked me and then unblocked me to call me a coward and then blocked me again. I've never talked to him. Yeah, so there we go. Babushka, that's a good question, man. Yeah, that's okay, Rosie. That's a good question, dude. Ideally, you go to findaspring.org and you locate a physical spring that you can get your hands on, and you use findaspring.org and you go to the spring and you fill up water. Or you get reverse osmosis or distilled water, but then you got to be taking minerals if you're taking reverse osmosis or distilled water because it's considered dead water and it's unstable and it will pull minerals out of you, but it is cleaner. Like, it's better than tap water, but it's empty water, it's dead water, and you do want to make sure you're getting the minerals. You know what I mean? Well, Katie, I mean, the 90s is a crazy time because we were so young. What were we, 5 years old in 2000? I remember when it was 2001 and the Twin Towers were collapsing on the TV in the kitchen. I remember that. I didn't understand it at the time, but the world changed after that big time, man. But yeah, the 90s was chill, Katie. The 2000s really, with what do we got? We got GameCubes, VHSs, Mortal Kombat. Streetlights were all amber. You'd bike. Oh, me and my friend used to sneak out and bike around town in the middle of the night, and then go back to his house and
do sleepovers, man. That was a friggin' hoot. I don't know though. Today, you're not going to do that. You'd be crazy if you're in a major city sneaking out at night and you're a kid, like with all the friggin' riffraff going on. That's so true, Bill Boss. See, you're paying attention, dude. You are paying attention, man. It's the weirdest thing. I still barely understand the double slit experiment, but observation is a force of nature. Yeah, that's super freaking cool. Reality is limitless, potential collapsed into reality by observation. Wow. Dude, make a video on that, Bill Boss. Yeah, exactly, Bolbushka. If it was over my eye, that would be more sus. That would be more sus. Rosie, Gen Z population decreasing, modern dating. Well, it's these dating apps are designed to lower the population. I know that may sound funny, but you know, all these dating apps, they're out of business if you stop using the app. They're trying to get you to be on the app at all times. And the people behind these apps are not in favor of growing healthy populations of people. You know, you got to pay to swipe more, and you got to, you know, to have more pictures, you got to like, it's a business. It's not to get people off. They want people using that thing all the time. So, Gen Z just needs, what are my thoughts on it? I mean, I could go on, but it's basically a product of a mass conditioning campaign to get people to self-depopulate, to not reproduce, and to be living in sin, really, when we get to the bottom of it, really. Guys, this is basically the last call for the free lit, by the way. If you're on the site right now, make sure you apply the discount code 26life on the male or female Vitality Stack to get the free bag of chocolate powder. That unlocks the 26% off lifetime discount. You can cancel or modify your subscription at any time. And you will get the free $100 bag of the heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which you will love so much. Get your male or female stack, use the discount 26life, and get that included in your order for free. This is the last call on it. Yeah, me too, Katie. I remember my parents were like, oh, fuck, like, shit. About the Twin Towers, you know, but apparently it's interesting because we had 9/11 and then we didn't have anything that crazy. 2008 wasn't like a terror attack. It was just a, you know, financial thing. And then until 2020, other than just normal things getting shittier, there wasn't a significant event. And then now we got this energy crisis, which may be kicking a ticking time bomb here kind of thing. Like it could be a big situation. Well, they're all claiming, look, the headlines are, this is going to be bigger than COVID, bigger than 9/11, whatever's coming around the corner. Whether it's some bombs from Iran hitting somewhere that we didn't expect, or it's the economy collapse, or it's a cyber attack, or it's all three. Whatever it is, they have a strange plan, but fear not, you know. I think this, if we're all meant to be where we are right now, which we are, we're divinely guided to exactly, not a single one of you is not where you're supposed to be right now. If you think about it, I wish I would have, could have, should have, blah, blah, blah. That's not the right thought. We're exactly where we're meant to be. So whatever's coming around the corner is according to God's will, man. So we'll see what happens. But I think in the end, we do win. I believe 100% that we do win. Yeah, I remember that, Bill Boss. I heard about that. We used to have 2 sleep cycles before the Industrial Revolution. That's right. So listen, we're going to pick back up where we left off on tomorrow's live. Thank you guys all for joining. I do want to make sure you guys get the free lit. So if you are on the site, we're going to extend this deal for like 40 more minutes. So if you get the male or female stack, check it out. Super detoxing, calibrates your endocrine system, boosts fertility, increases brain function. Clinically studied, by the way. Use the code 26life on the male or female stack and you get the free lit powder. We'll talk more tomorrow, guys. Make sure your live notifications are on so you know exactly when we're live. Thank you all for joining. Much love, and we'll see you guys on the next one, all right?